Just recently, I've decided it's in my best interest and your best interest for me to start sharing my story because I know that it can help you with yours. So first, we're going to start off with where I left off most recently, which is quitting my full-time job with absolutely no money saved up. But before we get there, I was a regular kid graduating high school, about to go to Texas Tech, went to Texas Tech, moved in, attended for about 3 weeks. I really didn't do much attending. I would walk around during the day, hang out at the food court, drink at night, repeat the next day, walk around, kind of look for my classes, but not really because I didn't want to find them. I didn't want to go to class because that was boring. So I made the decision to come back home and get out of there before I owed too much money, right? I packed up in the middle of the night and left from Lubbock to Austin, about 7 hours, came back home, and I was hanging out at the house for like 3 hours before my dad noticed I was there. And he was like, "Ah, you're back." And I was like, "Yep." And I enrolled in community college classes for about a semester. I had less than a 1.0 GPA, and after that semester, I kind of wrapped up, called it quits. No more school for me. So at this point, I'm kind of down like 1.8K, right? I needed a job. Mind you, all the patterns that I was trying to escape from leaving college continued once I got back. I was drinking, I was grubbing, I was doing all the same things, right? But I needed a job, so I got a job. I had a buddy that worked at the YMCA. He was lifeguarding. I was like, fuck it, I'll try it. Took the certification course, passed it, worked there for like 2 years. It was fine. I was making little money, but enough. It was all that I needed because my parents were nice enough to let me stay. I never really wanted to stumble into aquatics. I don't even really like swimming too much. I don't like swim team. I don't like any of that stuff that they be doing. I don't like the chlorine. So I was just there. I decided after about 2 years, I was gonna leave. And now the YMCA was a great place. It was a fun place to work. There was a lot of fun people there. And they had a gym, free gym membership. That's kind of what got the gym started for me, which was great. So everything kind of happens for a reason, you know? So I ended up leaving the YMCA after about 2 years. We had this new person come in. I wasn't too fond of her, so just caused some trouble and then left, right? But I got a better job, a full-time job, still in the aquatics industry, which was kind of boring. I was overseeing group swim lessons, private swim lessons, and a couple of swim teams, right? It was a full-time job. I was in the office most of the day, and then on the evening, I'd spend about 2 hours outside just hanging out, overseeing the programs. That was all great. Wasn't very much of a fan of it, but it was great at first, right? Got a gym membership at this place. I had good friends that I made at this place too. And eventually that all went bad. As soon as I got started at that new place, I kind of realized that something was off. The guy that hired me was acting completely different the first 2 weeks I was there. And I was like, that's interesting. Negativity, talking shit behind people's backs. And it was like, okay, maybe it's just a bad couple of weeks for him. He's stressed, he got to hire a new position. But over the course of about a year and some change, that continued, right? And I was like, okay, it's a character issue. He was just a negative person and a negative environment to be around, right? And some people might think I'm a negative person because at the workplace, at least, in most social settings, I don't really talk too much. I just kind of hang back and observe. And that plays to my advantage because I'm able to see people's true character. When you don't provoke them, you don't provoke words out of them, you don't provoke reactions out of them. You just get to kind of sit back and observe how people are and what they choose to do. Played in my favor. So over the course of the year, same behavior from this guy and a couple others, I decided that it was time to go. The problem was I didn't have a lot of money, but at this point I was like, fuck it, we're good, we got to get out of here. I was, over the course of a year and some change, I was really, really waiting for the chance to start an altercation because I love a good altercation, but I couldn't do that in the professional setting because there were other people there that I liked. I did not want to disturb their peace, right? So I just decided to leave. Zero money, as I said. Luckily, I have a part-time job that I was able to pick up some more hours at. It's held me off for the past month or so, and I've got some more work lined up for me in the summer with that company. But right now, I've got a lot of free time, so I'm starting to create the content, starting to share my story, starting to do other things, create another business, and putting that out there. So I've got a lot of time, and I got a lot of freedom, and it feels great. It feels absolutely so much better to be out of that environment than it does to be in that environment that I was in. So at this point where I'm at, I've made a couple sales in my new business. I've put out some pieces of content. I'm getting more comfortable being on camera, being more comfortable talking to you guys, and it's feeling great. Like I said, the freedom that you feel when you leave that 9 to 5 is amazing. And a couple lessons you want to take with you from quitting a job like that. I know a lot of you guys have the same professional experience where it's like people in the office, you're not too fond of them. You sit in the parking lot before you go in, you're like, ah, shit, I got to do this again. for 5 days. It's not a great cycle, but whatever. Something that I learned from this was that people do not quit the job. Nobody really likes their job, but they like the people in it, or they hate the people in it. And that's the reason that people leave, which is not because of their responsibilities and their duties and the pressure and the stress of the job. It's the pressure and the stress of the people around them, right? So you need to treat people how you'd want to be treated. The owner cannot operate without the janitor, and the janitor cannot operate without the owner, right? It's a fair trade. You're never better than somebody else because your position. And so regardless of who you're dealing with or what you're dealing with, respect is always pivotal, and that will never change. Another thing from this experience that I realized is that freedom is the true goal. Money is never the goal. I had the money when I was there. I was able to live comfortable. All my needs were met. I was around, for the most part, good people, and it was too comfortable. I was lazy. Even though I would go there and I would work at my other job on the weekends, I still felt extremely lazy. As soon as I left, I decided, okay, I can work on things now that are for me and for others. And that is true freedom. That's when you find the true purpose, right? It's not slaving yourself away from 9 to 5 from Monday through Friday. That was not freedom to me. And neither was the money that I made from it, because I didn't have the time. But where I'm at now, as broke as can be, hanging on by a thread, I feel the most free and I feel the most happy. And I'm not saying this is a sign for you to quit your 9 to 5 and do something reckless and wild like what I'm doing, but take this information, think about it, and realize what you're truly after. So I'm at a point now where I got the business kind of going for me. I've made a sale or two, and I've got the content kind of going for me. I put up some videos. Like I said, I'm getting more comfortable. And that is the most free feeling ever. It doesn't matter that I have almost $0 right now. It doesn't matter that I don't have a reliable source of income, because I feel free. I feel able to create. I feel able to build. I don't feel confined and put in a box. And that was the true value for me. So what is the true value for you? If you can relate to this story at all, if you take anything away from this story, subscribe for more. I aim to help you build a better life. I aim to help you find yourself.